NBA 2K doesn't give a damn about you, the consumer, the player, the individual that spent their hard-earned money on their $60 full-price game. How do I know this? NBA 2K18 is the most disgusting and predatory example of microtransactions that has ever existed in a full-price game to date. Forget Destiny 2's shader fiasco, forget Battlefront 2's loot box and star card scandal, forget Shadow of War's destruction of the Nemesis system with war chests, forget Need of Speed doling out speed cards in such a way that resembles an actual slot machine, and forget Call of Duty World War II dropping virtual supply chests on the beaches of its multiplayer headquarters for everyone in the lobby to see. No, these don't hold a candle to the slap in the face that is NBA 2K18. NBA 2K18, like most sports titles, exists on the fringes of the games industry. Although these annualized titles sell extremely well, with NBA 2K and Madden almost always in the top 5 selling games year after year, the hardcore gaming crowd doesn't qualify these titles as games in the same way they would the Red Deads, Witchers, Fallouts, or Mass Effects of the industry. Matter of fact, you'd have to go back to 2013 to find a year in which neither Madden nor NBA 2K wasn't in the top 10 best-selling games of the year, and even then, FIFA sits at number 3. For further proof that sports titles' ratio of mindshare to sales is disproportionate, it only takes a look around IGN, Polygon, Kotaku, GameSpot, or Game Informer to see that sports titles, while occupying a great percentage of sales and hours played, receive very little real estate on these industry-leading sites. And it's often the same writer or small group of writers that cover these titles. Take it a step further and look at E3, the biggest video game event of the year, where the die-hard video game fans come to see their most anticipated games. Look hard. Outside of EA's Madden and FIFA getting minimal stage time at their press conference, there's nothing. NBA 2K typically doesn't even show up at E3. I say all this to set up how we got to where we are now, how the industry has let this happen. Microtransactions were introduced in the 2K series back in 2013, and by today's standards were fairly trivial, with the option of purchasing 2, 5, or 10K VC for $1, $2, and $3 respectively. 10,000 VC was also enough to make a difference back then. Even so, the game scored a 90 on Metacritic for PS3. The following year, 2K14 was released, and with it, more microtransactions, with the ability to spend upwards of $19.99 in a single VC purchase. This isn't to mention the $24.99 Blue Diamond pack you could purchase for a plus 10 boost to all stats. NBA 2K14 received an 85 on Metacritic for the PS4 version of the game. The same story could be said for each of the following 4 releases, an increase in VC costs until 2K16 when prices leveled off with a $100 VC option, and a high Metacritic rating, 83 for 2K15, 87 for 2K16, 90 for 2K17, and an 85 for 2K18. How can a game transform this much and mainstream video game outlets not catch on? Well, slowly for one, and secondly, you must understand how games are reviewed for these sites to see how 2K can get away with this one so easily. NBA 2K18 on the surface is a phenomenal game. The way the game feels, the way the players have a certain weight to them on the court, the in-game animations, the visuals, the presentation, and overall quality of the game is the best the series has ever offered. It's truly the most frustrating part of NBA 2K18, that underneath the microtransactions lies an incredible game. This, along with the fact that 2K sends review copies with VC preloaded, allows for 2K's transgressions to slide by. This also allows for reviewers to not have to deal with the grind of acquiring VC, the currency used across every game mode. Which leads to another fact, that reviewers must touch on every mode of the game, not allowing for a thorough deep dive into any particular mode. I'm not casting blame on reviewers at all, I'm merely stating that it's the nature of the beast when it comes to reviewing a game such as NBA 2K. The real flaw of NBA 2K usually doesn't present itself until dozens of hours into any particular mode. That is, until 2K18. On launch, NBA 2K18 offered 3 editions with various rewards, the main sell being additional VC. The standard edition, priced at $60, came with 5,000 VC, or enough for a haircut. More on that later. The Legend edition, priced at $100, offered 100,000 VC, while the Legend Edition Gold, priced at a whopping $150, gifted the player with 250,000 VC. To be fair, there were negligible apparel items included, as well as 10, 20, and 40 weekly My Team packs respectively. But let's be honest, if you're buying these special editions for the weekly My Team packs, you're in more need of help than us My Career masochists, as they contain worthless cards. All of this sounds like a fairly decent deal, right? That it makes financial sense to purchase the most expensive edition of the game to save money on precious VC, right? That's after all what we've been trained to think over time, that buying in bulk offers a better cost per unit, that bundles offer the better deal. Well, you'd be wrong again, as 2K capitalizes on this line of thought and flips it on its head. The average cost of upgrading any My Career player stats is around 200k VC, which 2K conveniently sells for $50. With that being said, you can buy the standard edition of the game at $50 plus the extra 200k VC to soft cap your player at an 85 overall rating for an additional $50 and have a soft cap maxed out player for $100 total, with a few thousand VC left over. Or you can purchase the Legend Edition for $100 and have enough VC to level up your My Career player halfway, needing an additional 100k VC, which 2K this time conveniently doesn't sell. With this being the road to 99, you're encouraged to purchase either the 200,000 VC option or the 75k VC pack plus the 35k VC pack to level up your player to 85 overall, so either $50 or $30. Either way, more than buying the standard edition. We don't even need to go over the Legend Gold Edition, as we've already stated it costs $50 more than the cost of the Standard Edition, plus the 200k VC pack. Keep in mind that this is only for one player in the game, and with no way to preview how your build would be at launch, a mistake at this stage of the game meant spending an additional $50 to soft cap your next created player. Want to play a different position since you've been a point guard for over 100 hours and aren't getting anywhere? That's another $50 to soft cap a center to play with. What 2K doesn't tell you about the road to 99 is that the road is in fact not a road at all. It more closely resembles quicksand. You might say, you don't have to spend money on VC, you can earn it in-game. To that statement, yes, you're correct. What you aren't representing, however, is the fact that NBA 2K18 reduced the amount of ways you could earn VC while devaluing it at the same time. In previous NBA 2Ks, there was a difficulty modifier. If you played on the default pro difficulty, you earned VC at the default level. Shifting up or down on the difficulty affected your VC multiplier accordingly. 2K18 takes this feature and throws it away in favor of making the 2x multiplier a reward tier. Get to 92 overall to receive this bonus that was once a standard feature. Want to know how to do that faster? Spend money on VC. You are effectively paying full price for the game and then paying more money to not play the game. NBA 2K18 also eliminated rookie difficulty from the game, making the game more difficult for casual fans of My Career, effectively further reducing the rate at which VC can be earned. Don't even get me started with the constant changing of green light windows on jump shots that Mike Wong couldn't leave alone for more than 30 minutes at a time. Every game decision choice for NBA 2K18 feels like it was made for no other reason than to milk as much money from the player base as possible. Once standard free features and character customization, such as hairstyle and hair color, were put behind a paywall in 2K18. Upon launch, the average cost for each haircut or hair color was 1,000 VC. Oh yeah, this was a one-time use that you couldn't preview. Don't like the look of the hairstyle you just picked because you can't rotate the example picture? That'll cost you another 1,000 VC to change. This cost was later patched and reduced to 100 VC out of the goodness of 2K's heart in order to, quote, make it more realistic. That's right, in 2K's reality, NBA stars make around $500 a game. Haircuts cost around $100 and a pair of Timberlands is $9,000. You could even go a step further and say that NBA 2K's companion app that they cleverly make you download and use if you want your face in the game, My NBA 2K18, allows you to grind for even more VC. True, but even this app is crippled by the same predatory mechanics and offers its own set of microtransactions that look eerily familiar. Speaking of familiar, have you ever heard of Gatorade, Mountain Dew, Reese's Puffs? What about Ruffles potato chips? NBA 2K18's My Career mode features an unbearably cringy story centered around an ex-ball player turned music DJ, the turntable variety, trying to get back to being a ball player who's conveniently named, you guessed it, DJ. Take my word for it when I say it's nauseating. Making matters worse, the cutscenes are unskippable. Even if you're on your second, third, or fourth character, it quickly becomes glaringly obvious as to why upon seeing the product placement that is shoved down your throat. From a Reese's Puffs cereal box being a permanent fixture on the counter of your My Court, to the cutscene where you are literally given an entire pallet of Mountain Dew. These products are everywhere. There's an entire training facility where you are forced to go to acquire Turbo that is named the Gatorade Training Facility. You can also purchase boosts that are modeled after Gatorade products. Then there is the overt placement witnessed in two of NBA 2K18's revolving modes, Mountain Dew 3X Tournament and the Ruffles 4-Pointer Challenge, where even the 4-point arc on the court is meant to simulate the ridges on Ruffles potato chips. The product placement is absurd. Also, about one of those other revolving modes in NBA 2K18, the Ante Up. The Ante Up is a park event within the neighborhood of my career. This mode literally lets you gamble your VC on games. That's right, you wager an upfront amount of VC before the game ever starts, and after you win, a slot machine of sorts is displayed, which affects your winnings. If you lose, well, you buy some more VC. My love of the NBA 2K franchise dates all the way back to playing NBA 2K on the Sega Dreamcast. I've owned every 2K game since, which brings me to 2K19, and having hope that the series rights itself and delivers an experience that I know it could, if it didn't put stockholders ahead of customers. Ask Epic Games. You can make an insane amount of money when you do microtransactions right and don't affect gameplay, separating the haves from the have-nots. My initial gut feeling tells me not to hold my breath. We're not off to a great start when 2K is now limiting early access to those who purchased the 20th anniversary edition of the game, something everyone who pre-ordered last year had access to. Looks like getting that 4-day jump on the competition is going to cost you an extra $40 this time around. There's also the interview where NBA 2K's resident producer of its franchise mode stated, quote, "They give me people. They aren't cheap. I'm not cheap. It takes a lot of people to develop these modes. We don't make money on this, but it enhances the NBA 2K experience so much. I look at the other games, and they just don't do it. So I feel like we don't get a fair shake. We add all these modes like My GM, to My GMs now, and My League to really enhance the value of the product, and I wish more people would notice that," end quote. We have noticed. We've noticed you no longer consider My GM, My Career, My Team, and My League as standard modes that should be expected in the core NBA 2K experience. They're expensive add-ons to you. If you can't make a profitable game at $60, one with only a 9-month development cycle, you need to take another look at your organization's structure. And while the crossover from people that play the 2K franchise in games like The Witcher is minimal, we exist. 2K, if you want the praise that games heap onto CD Projekt Red, maybe you should start putting your customers first, like CD Projekt Red. A thank you note was included in The Witcher 3 for purchasing their game. You should read it sometimes. When even Chris Smoove, the godfather of the NBA 2K community, abandoned your game, you know it's time for a change. And I'm afraid that if 2K19 doesn't right the ship, the 2K series that I love will be like the 2K18 YouTube community. Dead. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you. And click subscribe, because this is only the beginning. Until next time, this is Headset Havoc, and thanks for watching.